is still July 14th, 2021. You're doing well, still. We're going to continue with our discussion about taking responsibility. This will be part 3. And in the last recording, we talked about a lot of things. Kind of got off track a little bit, but it all tied together somehow or other. But we're just kind of talking a bit about what's not our responsibility. What is our responsibility? We didn't really break down what is our responsibility, only to say we are responsible for everything that we feel, think, say, and do. Those are ours. And anything that doesn't fall into one of those categories is not our responsibility. Although others might try to convince us or tell us that these other things are also our responsibility. That's where we get into trouble. And sometimes you'll see people trying to have their hands in everything, trying to do things for everybody, and picking up the slack for people who don't care to pick up their own slack, maybe, and then they're exhausted, and oftentimes there's resentment because we're taught, well, if you love a person, this is what you do. You give. Love is about giving, not taking. And so anyway, we understand that, but now we didn't really discuss in detail what our responsibilities are, only to name those 4 categories that they fall under. We didn't talk about what those responsibilities are. Sorry, I'm trying to cross the street here. And so we thought maybe we would address those things. Oops, I missed it. Oh, well, I gotta wait extra. That's okay. It's only 150 degrees out here. It's all right. No, it's not, obviously. I'm not in the desert. I'm not in the Sahara Desert. Anyway. So, something that we see a lot, which I find very off-putting, and I try not to judge, but I'm human too, okay? Just because I talk in a thing, talk about stuff, whatever, I'm human. I'm just like everybody else. We're all in this friggin' boat together, trying to work it out. Now, that being said, something that I find off-putting is when people will not take responsibility for what is theirs and try to shrug it on over to whatever their mind and imagination can come up with for being responsible for the thing. Sometimes this manifests, it shows itself as blaming. It's like, okay, when we drop the ball on something, it's not great, but it's so much better when we just like, you know what, damn, I dropped the ball, I full well dropped the damn ball right there, it's down on the ground. And so it's not fun to admit when we made a mistake or we did something that's kind of stupid or whatever. We want to save face, maybe. We don't want to be embarrassed. But guess what? Embarrassment is a lot nicer color than just ugliness. Just being ugly. Well, if you wouldn't have done this and they wouldn't have done that and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, it's like, oh my goodness. Just take it. Take the thing. It's yours. That drives me crazy. Because if we're all And there's a lot of that going on in the world because a lot of people are doing it. And if we're all doing that, then nothing's getting solved because it's always somebody else's fault. And when we take responsibility, some people feel like that means I'm saying it's my fault. That means I'm stupid, I'm wrong, I'm bad, I'm not smart. Or it's like, why we got to put all that on it? Just say, listen, I'm a human being. I screwed up right there. Okay, guess what? Everybody else does too. But it's good when we can take responsibility, and it's not always easy to do. Okay, and sometimes we play the blame game in more subtle ways too. We're not like rah, 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 but maybe just kind of excuse or rationalize something. And you know what? Hey, we all do shit, right? But it's the important thing here is that it doesn't do us any favors to continue to pretend that we're perfect or that we don't screw up sometimes. It doesn't do us any favors, and it sure as hell doesn't do the people around us any favors when they're like just sitting there, innocent bystander. All of a sudden they're accused of doing something and they're like, wait, what? Right? So it bugs me though, I have to say, because nothing gets solved, and when it happens a lot, it becomes a lifestyle. And we want to really, if we're serious, we'll be honest with ourselves. And even when we make really bad mistakes, we feel really bad inside about it, blaming other people or passing the buck, that's not a healthy way to respond, to react when we mess up. Like, we can be apologetic, we can be sorry, we could try to make amends if it's a situation like that. If it's a situation where it's like there's nothing we can do, it's done and it's bad, and it's like, okay, you know what, again, I'm only human, and we just hopefully we don't come down too hard on ourselves in the other direction either. I mean, you don't want to go around blaming other people where they haven't done anything, but we also don't want to overreact and be too harsh, too critical with ourselves, because nobody's perfect. But so that is a way that we do want to take responsibility. We were starting to say, if we're really serious about living our truth, that absolutely is going to have to be part of the criteria, is when shit goes down, to be able to take responsibility for our part in whatever, and it's okay. It's okay. Now, something that does happen is if people are irresponsible, and then somebody will step up and take responsibility for the other person's irresponsibility and say, okay, no, I'll handle it, I'll clean it up, and this and that. And again, we can see that this is not healthy. Person is not learning responsibility, whoever committed that, whatever happened. We're taking something that's not ours, that's throwing us off balance. So it's better to just own what's ours, swallow our pride. It's not easy to do sometimes. It's hard to do sometimes. Sometimes the world around us tries to make us feel inferior, and so if we're walking around already feeling kind of, well, I'm not really worth a whole hell of a lot anyway, and then shit goes down, well, it's going to be really difficult for me to own it when I need to try to prove to myself that I have some value in a world that's really telling me I don't. And make no mistake, guys, this world is all about telling us and reminding us again and again through all the means that they can that we don't have any worthiness of ourselves. Well, if you go here and you do that and you own this and you blah, 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 then maybe you have some worth, but only as long as you maintain it. And so you can see why it's difficult sometimes to own our mistakes, our blunders, because just they'll just be, to us, they're just a reminder of how stupid I am, how worthless I am, how unworthy I am, how unlovable, whatever. And so for some people, trying to dodge that, because that feeling can sink in and pull us way, way down, kind of way down the way the person who's going to take the blame for you is going to feel when you bite their head off for doing something that they had nothing to do with. They feel pulled down. But if you have a certain mindset and you own up to it, your mind, while it's in that place, it convinces you that, oh, see, you did this dumb thing because you're dumb. You see, and it's not all that. Our words, the things that we say, people are so careless with their words sometimes, and don't realize or don't care. They're careless. Don't care about the damaging effect that their words can have on others. And again, oftentimes that's because the words going on inside their head are not being filtered. You see, our self-talk needs to be filtered too. When our self-talk is, you'll never amount to a piece of shit, then that's something that we need to, that'll be a whole other recording. But see, that's where that'll come from then. And then that just kind of bleeds out into everything else. Anyway, it then when we talk to other people, we haven't learned how to really be careful with our self-talk, so then we're not careful with the way we talk to others, because we don't even know how. We haven't developed that yet. And so, yeah, and our thoughts are full of energy and power. And when we allow our minds to ruminate in stuff that's heavy or depressing or just gives you icky feeling inside, it doesn't make you feel energetic at all. It depletes you. When we constantly run those type of thoughts through our minds, that is irresponsible. Now, we're not saying that as a judgment. We're saying that as we got to step up now, people, and understand we are responsible. There's no other person that's going to be able to come in my mind and say, okay, to hell with that. This thought, you're gone. I'm not doing this. I'm not playing this game with you. You're not pulling me down like that. And I'm not saying it's that easy to do, but nobody else can do that for us. It's our responsibility to be able to do that. And again, this can be developed out for 2, 3, 4 hours. This subject alone of thoughts and how they affect us and others. But firstly, us, because however it's affecting us, that's how it's going to trickle out and affect the people around us and affect the world at large, really. Anyway, I can't even say exactly what we should title this third one. I guess just specifically how we can be responsible in the areas of thoughts speech and our actions. So, yeah, I guess that's what we'll do. Anyway, hopefully this has been encouraging or at least informative to someone out there. And as always, we want to wish you much love. Bye.